Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Tomatolito Show, and I'm excited to bring you guys another addition to this series that I put together for you guys, paying homage and giving recognition to the other fighting organizations that we have out there. Some of the more notable ones, and some that are doing really exciting things with the sport of MMA, within the sports of boxing or a different form of, and they're doing justice by the fight game and giving new entertainment platforms and new avenues of entertainment to us, the fight fans. So today I wanted to do a brief overview of the PFL, which is a professional fighters league, formerly known as the World Series of Fighting. And let's jump right in. Let's see what it is that they're doing. This is some of the keynotes that I've been able to gather as far as the PFL. Now, on one of the previous episodes that I put out was in relation to one of the fighters who is now competing at that organization, and that being the BKFC, the Bare Knuckle FC. And that's Luis Palomino. I was questioning myself as to, hey, I know sometimes I get out rambling and I get out talking and my memory sometimes tends to fail me. And so I mentioned Luis Palomino, and I thought that I had seen him compete in the World Series of Fighting. So I started doing research, and I was correct. I recall Luis Palomino with those awesome fights that he had against Justin Gaethje. And so that now he's over there at BKFC, and listen, BKFC is attracting some big names, both boxing and MMA related. And so that's an organization to keep an eye out on. And the PFL, let's talk about them today. The PFL ended up rebranding itself from the old days of the World Series of Fighting. World Series of Fighting was established in 2012. They held 35 events. And then an investment group came into the picture, and they end up acquiring the World Series of Fighting in 2017. So 5 years into their existence, here comes a big investment group take over, and they end up rebranding it and renaming it as the PFL, the Professional Fighters League. In 2018 is when they debuted and held their first event under the PFL new branding. And it used to be in NBC Sports, and that's where I remember that Gaethje Palomino fight. NBC Sports used to air these events. NBC mainstream, the main channel, used to be on live on cable TV. When on Saturday evenings they would show these big cards, and that's how I recall catching wind of the World Series of Fighting initially. So NBC Sports did right by them, and now ESPN has taken over. So since the NBC Sports days, PFL has now a contract with ESPN, and they've changed the format of the fight game a little bit. One of the cool things that the PFL does is that they do almost like a NBA type or common sports format, right? Where they do a standing system. It's almost like it's not almost, it's a regular season format that they follow, like the NBA, like the NFL, like the MLB, or even soccer at that with the leagues, whether you're out in Europe or in the United States, you have the MLS, obviously, which is an up and coming league, but through Europe, La Liga, European football, which are a lot bigger organizations and more notable, you have that regular season format, and you have the standings, the rankings as the teams are going up, the win-loss records, so forth. This is what PFL is bringing to the landscape of the fight game, which is different than any other organization is doing out there. And so the fighters fight in a regular season format. They have to compete to get into the postseason. And later on, obviously, you start eliminating one another until you get your two fighters in the championship matchup. They've had two successful seasons thus far, 2018 and 2019. Of course, this season, like every other organization, it's been affected, and it canceled its season in 2020. It's been affected because of the pandemic, the ongoing global pandemic of the COVID-19. But they are ready to come back. PFL has scheduled their return for April of 2021. And one of the biggest announcements of the last few weeks is that none other than the undisputed champion, one of the women's undisputed champions, Claressa Shields, has signed an exclusive contract with the PFL where she's going to be doing some main attraction type matches this coming 2021. and she signed on to jump into the regular season format and compete in the regular season format of the PFL come 2022. So that's one of the biggest news that the PFL has released as of yet. And keep an eye out for them because their season's going to be awesome 2021. They have some big names also that compete there in the PFL, and they're doing something that no other organization is doing out there, and that's how they stand out, and they're leaving their mark in the fight game. So for you PFL fans out there, which all of us should jump behind and support the PFL and what they're doing for the sport, for you PFL fans that are big fans of the PFL and viewers of the PFL, more so than any of the other organizations, this one's for you. So with that said, let's close out this episode. Keep an eye out for the PFL season in 2021. And I'll talk to you all soon. Let's see what I got in store for you in the upcoming episodes. Take care.